when it comes all down to it, this is my first Pokepasta Pokemon Blue. It's good. I love Pokemon. It was the first game I ever really got into when I was young. Maybe 16 or 17. And it stayed with me. As I grew up, I always thought I'd play Pokemon all my life. Because I can never put it down. It just has an effect on you. You probably know what I mean, right? It just was a bit older than the average Pokemon fan was when I got my hands on my first game, which I remember being a copy of Pokemon Blue. Like a million other kids that year, I received it as a Christmas gift. Across the country, countless Pokemon games were being unwrapped. That very morning, they all came from the very same factory in Japan, crafted together by the same hands. They were all stuck in the shiny new Game Boy handhelds and turned on for the very first time. I remember I had one when I began my adventure. Nestled. Besides the Christmas tree decked out in full winter pajamas. I selected Bulbasaur as my starter. Caught Pidgey and caught a Caterpie. I brought my strong Pokemon team to the first couple of gyms without a hitch. I thought everything was going well. Rock and Misty were a piece of cake. Bulbasaur was easy mode. Rock and water types. Bow down the grass immediately. Dance Edge gave me some issues, but I eventually shrimp on after. A bit of grinding, it was one after another. Eventually I came across the edge and cut. I was getting across to Route 9, and as soon after Rock Tunnel, it took me a day to navigate through the darkness, but I did it. By the month of December was reaching its close. I shut myself up in my room for a few hours every day playing Pokemon, grinding Pidgeotos, Butterfrees, and Absolute up levels each time. I didn't care. I was having a blast. A friend of mine even traded me a Sandslash for a Charmander, which brought my team up to 4 strong. I didn't think the game could get any better than I stepped foot into Lavender Town. Oh my. For a few seconds, I stared at my Game Boy screen. As the color scheme turned gloomy, the music began playing, and I made a face. Lavender Town's melody was melody and sad, completely unlike the other themes I heard so far. I immediately realized this place was something else. Some new developers wanted to set apart from the rest. I didn't know any other reasons they would have gone to the lengths they did to make Lavender Town seem so dark. The haunted music followed me into every building, even the bookmaster no longer smiling. I waited impatiently for Nursery to heal up my pals as their pressing sounds went on. I thought they'd never end. Well, you could always go into the Pokemon. Having hung around Lavender Town long enough, I made my way to the western exit. Was going according to plan until I realized I had a majority goofed and got to check out the town's main feature, the Pokemon Tower. Laying back on my bed, I pulled the Game Boy close to my face and squinted. Pretty much everything was hard to see because the Game Boy obviously didn't have a backlight, so I turned on my hearing lamp and glanced at the window. It was maybe 11 p.m. About that everyone in my house was going to head off to sleep soon. I decided to play play on as I walked into the Pokemon Tower and I touched the depressed NPCs. I began to lose some of my focus. My eyelids were getting heavy and I was mashing buttons. Language syndrome reference? That would probably be something else. Subconsciously, I talked to the same girl over and over without realizing it. Her dialogue filled the bottom of the screen a few times. Growlithe, why did you die? Growlithe, why did you die? Growlithe, why did you die? It was weird how the characters always say the same thing over and over again. You think it was a error or something that these NPCs are glitchy, fragment of real people doomed to say the same thing over and over until the end of time. Here at least it seemed fitting they were only mourning. I progressed up the levels of the tower, beat my rival, and entered the floor of the mythical healing pad. I walked over a few times, 10 times, breached the edges, let another unplayable ghost appear. I was getting tired of my Pokemon being immobilized with fear. Holding, you probably should have got the Psycho Escape before you came back there. When facing one of the Pokemon teams, I selected Sandslash and scrolled down his options. The friend that had given him to me already taught him Shrink. Curious, I attempted to use the move and to regain notes. You can now move heavy boulders around. I know a team plan wasn't what the developers had in mind for Frank's purpose, but I had to my surprise. It moved, revealing a small black hole in its spines. My character immediately dropped through it. I remember that happened in Pokemon Blue. So the reference. I thought I would appear on the floor of the hole, but I didn't. Instead, my character was surrounded by a black screen with a Lavender Town music playing. I scooched back on my bed and brought the Game Boy right up under my lap, thinking I'll be able to pick out some features of the new level if the screen was better, but there was nothing to be seen. I tried to move my character, but the game just immediately, that dun dun sound always does. You walk into something. Dun 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 dun. I'm just gotta do that. Next thing I knew, the Lavender Town music stopped playing. It cut off right in the middle. I figured the game froze, but when I tried to move, my character's feet still just, and I still got that dun 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 sound telling me I couldn't walk anywhere. So there was a jump, went lump, and I saved for the progress. In a while, I didn't want to lose thing I accomplished by flicking the power on me. I set my Game Boy down and reeled my legs over the side of my bed and put my hand to my forehead. I was sweaty and clammy. My attention darted back to my Game Boy, and I saw that the sides of where my hands had been were bristling were slick with sweat, as well as I had a fever. To be continued.